Hello, everybody. So I get this question a lot. Is OFM saturated? Is there still any money to be made? Does it even make sense to do anymore? So I want to just give you my honest take on it. The truth is, yes and no. So I remember back in 2022 or 2023, a lot of what was driving the growth in the space was what people call gray hat and black hat methods. Black hat means just simply strategies against platform terms of service, like botting, automation, and that kind of stuff. Gray hat is a mix of organic and more restricted strategies, things that work but push the line of the platform. And I know for a fact this stuff was happening at a big scale. People running thousands of Instagram accounts, dating app strategies, Filipino VA teams just like handling thousands of accounts, just huge volume. The problem with that today is that a lot of it is simply not as financially viable as it was. And what is still available is honestly about 10 times less profitable in many cases. So I would argue that it's become more of a niche road at this point in the game. It's still out there, but it's just not what it was. And I think that this is where the whole saturation conversation goes in the wrong direction. OFM is simply not the 10K in my first month with minimal experience road anymore. At least not for the average guy. That was maybe true in 2022, but it's not a realistic way to think about it today. But, and this is important, in the meantime, the actual OnlyFans market became enormous. We're talking like $7.1 billion going through the platform economy last year. I don't know the exact current estimate, but it's pretty crazy. And for anyone willing to actually put the work in, I would say it's about as profitable as it's ever been. The difference is that you have to treat it like a real business now. And that actually brings up something that I think is underrated. The people who are building properly right now, real accounts, real brands, real client relationships, those skills don't disappear if the platform changes or the strategies shift. The people who grew fast on all of the methods in 2022 had very little to fall back on when those shortcuts and methods stopped working. Building properly is just a completely different position to be in long term. As far as AI models go, it's a nice option if you simply cannot get a real model to work with you right away, but you're going to miss out on the skills and the scaling that's really only possible with a real creator. Instagram is already cracking down on AI content because it's operating in that gray hat territory. And on top of that, you'll end up dealing with problems a real agency doesn't have to deal with. It slows down your learning and your progress. The ceiling is also just not the same. A real model with a real brand is a completely different thing. I also want to mention that the community itself has changed a bit. It used to be a pretty crazy space, a sea of scammers everywhere basically, a lot of very get-rich-quick stuff. And as it's gotten harder, some of that is starting to go away, as there is not as many newcomers anymore. Which is actually a good sign for anyone doing this seriously. That said, it's still completely unregulated. There are people you don't want to deal with in this space. Just be careful who you interact with. Is it worth it today? I would say yes, for sure. And I think for some time to come. As far as strategy goes, Instagram organic is still the backbone of what I would focus on. But it's worth looking into other organic strategies, like X or others. Even some things like YouTube for the right type of model can work really well. Going forward, it's going to require more experimentation. But the opportunity is real. And there are still gray hat options that are genuinely viable, like high volume clipping, mass accounts on Instagram, follow-unfollow. They work, they just require real money and time to make worth it now. So it's not like those options are gone. The equation is just different. And in society in general, having an OnlyFans is pretty normalized these days, depending on where you are. That can open up marketing approaches that just weren't possible a few years ago. Last thing I want to say, OnlyFans is just the current form that this takes. The adult industry has universal appeal. It has always existed on the internet and it's not going anywhere ever. There will be other platforms after this one, other forms of marketing, new opportunities that don't exist yet. The business model itself, connecting audiences with creators in a direct, monetized way, that is not a trend. That's just how this space works and always will work. So even if OnlyFans itself changes or gets replaced by the next big thing, it's just something else, the person who knows how to build brands, grow audiences, and monetize it in this space is going to always be fine. That's the actual long-term bet. Not a specific platform itself, but a skill set in an industry that isn't going anywhere. Drop a comment if you see it differently or if you see it the same way. I'm genuinely curious what other people think about this. Subscribe if you found this helpful, and I'll see you in the next video.